Hello and welcome to the Council of Moms. I'm Lisa Valentine Clark. I'm your host today, and we're so excited to be able to talk about all things motherhood because the Council of Moms is when we get together, moms, to figure out the hard stuff in life, the easy stuff in life, and, everything in between because we're all figuring it out as we go, right? The Council of Moms, we like to say, how come when they do it, it's outdoor voices, and when I do it, I'm freaking out? The Council of Moms. We've got the answers ChatGPT doesn't because it's never had to change a diaper in a bathroom stall with no table, right? You can't feed that kind of information to ChatGPT. Like, it'll never work. Council of Moms, as always, made with real moms. And today on this council, again, I'm Lisa Valentine Clark. I'm the mother of 5 mostly grown adults. I have 1 at home. I think they're baby adults. They still come home. One of my kids, an adult, still regularly sends me texts of a trampoline that he wants me to buy. I said, we're not buying trampolines. And he's like, aren't we? And I'm like, no, you don't even live here. And he's like, but what about the grandchildren? And I said, listen, I don't have any grandchildren. Once you give me a grandchild, I'll buy you a trampoline. How about that? That's the stage of parenting that I'm in, that fun, awkward phase. But it's not just me here on the Council of Moms. I also have 3 other guests here. Please introduce yourselves.
I am Sunny Mahe, and I have 10 kids ranging from the ages of 25 down to 2. So I'm a jack of all trades, master of none and nothing. That's the stage I'm in.
You're in every stage is what
I
you're in.
truly am.
Hi, I'm Julie Taylor. I have 5 kids ranging from toddlers to teens. Only 1 toddler and 1 teen, but the rest are in between. Toddler, tween, and in between. It rhymes.
I love it.
And I know a little less each day.
Congratulations.
That sounds so right on. I'm Emily Campbell, and I also am kind of all over the place in my parenting stage. I have an adult child who's 22, and then I have a 9-year-old, cute little whippersnapper I had in my 40s. And then I have a child in between there who just recently became an adult. He's severely disabled, so he's really an adult baby. He's like an 18-year-old, 2-year-old. So I'm also all over the place.
I love it. Welcome to the Council of Moms. We're all over the place, and so are you.
So right.
It's so right. Today's question is, hi, moms. How do you manage chores? I feel like I always have to remind my kids multiple times or nothing gets done. Do you have any systems or tricks that work for you? Just the little question about how you get your kids to do stuff and chores. Take it away. What do we got, Council? Let's share our best ideas.
Do you want the aspirational answer or the reality of what happens?
Oh, man, I want it all. Don't you know that by now? At the Council of Moms, we want it all.
In theory, we have a zone system in our house. So everyone has a zone of the house, and every evening, everyone has to do their zones.
Okay, give me an example.
Like, one of my children has the family room, one of my children has the mud room, one of my children has the front room. And then they're all responsible for their own spaces, but the communal spaces we split up between children. And so we just say, go do your zones. And they're a little bit easier for the younger ones. The older kids get the harder ones. But we also rotate every 6 months so that when people feel like they get the bad one, like with all the shoes, they only get the short end of the stick for 6 months.
That's the bad one, the one that nobody wants. Yeah.
It works about 50% of the time, which I consider a win.
Yeah.
The other half is just me saying, please do this, please do this, please do this.
Yeah. I hate the whole constant reminding.
I want to hear from Sunny on this.
Oh, I am for sure not an expert on this. We are masters of giving everything the shove before people come over because my house is absolutely never company ready. And that's just one of those things that I've kind of had to give in, that there's too many of them and I can't possibly
tell
keep
me
up.
about that though, because everyone's on a different phase of, okay, this is the aspirational, like Julie set us up for that, right? Like we all have this idea of how we want this to go. And then either we come to good enough, or I'll try this, or I'll try that, or I'll let it go. So tell me a little bit about how you came to just let it go.
I feel like I am literally the only person in my home that cares. And I don't care enough to drive myself crazy over it. And so that truly is one of the things that I've just kind of had to learn, that it's not a deal breaker. It's not going to end the world if the kids don't get to come play over here after soccer practice because it's not ready for anyone. Go play somewhere else, because that's not what we value here. We don't value, you know, keeping everything company ready, because it just really kind of never is. And so if we're going to have people over, everybody chips in, works together, and we do a big overhaul, and that lasts for as long as the company's here, and then it reverts back to its natural state.
Was there a moment that you came to realize that you were trying to, force a system or an ideal that what didn't work for you? And then, was there a moment that you realized, no, this isn't worth it?
I just don't like the feeling in my home to feel chaotic.
Mhm.
Even if it is kind of chaotic, if I personally am making it chaotic because I am so upset and crazy about it having to be perfect or it having to look a certain way, nobody else cares. Like I said, like it doesn't affect anybody else except me, and I don't care that much. And
Yeah.
so
You
that's
took a
one of
survey. The kids were like, this isn't even on our radar. What are you talking about? Yeah.
truly. And so I can harp on people, but that makes me feel bad. It makes me
Yeah.
feel like I'm the one changing the atmosphere of the home because everyone else is perfectly happy with the way that it is.
Yeah.
And so
Mm.
I've kind of had to get behind the system of everyone else.
Yeah.
I think that's
It's a
smart.
hands-off system. Yeah. Emily, what do you do?
Well, I think there's something really smart about that because I've noticed with myself, I'm of the everything needs to be orderly and company ready all the time. Partially because I only have I only had 2 kids for 10 years, and so it was easier to do that. But I've noticed with myself, like if I'm too uptight about that, all that does is create anxiety in my kids. And
Yeah.
nobody wants that. I'd rather have things go uncleaned and untaken care of than having like more anxiety than they already have, So I think that's great. And then also at our house, it's a little different because for again, 10 years, I only had one child that could do any chores at all. And it wasn't fair to put everything on her. So she has, like Julie said, she's totally in charge of her own space. I don't do her, well, I never did do her bathroom once she was old enough to do it on her own or her bedroom. But, she has the things that she's in charge of. And now my 9-year-old has things he's in charge of, but there's hardly anything. I mean, they each have like 2 jobs that they're in charge of that are super, super easy. And I don't want to add to that because I don't want to add to the anxiety
Yeah.
and the stress of it. He's got my 9-year-old has some friends that like can never play outside on a weekday or a weekend or a summer day before like 1 p.m. because they have so many chores to do. And I'm like, I don't want that to be their childhoods, like I'd rather just do the bulk of it myself or let it go. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's different for every house, right?
Yeah.
Definitely I really like things clean, which you can't if I showed you my whole room. There's a reason we're in the corner here. But I feel like one way that I've had because I wanted to walk that balance of I like it this way and I kind of need it this
Yeah.
way for my mental
Mhm.
health sometimes.
Mhm.
But also I don't want to be a monster. I don't want to be mad at everyone. And I don't want that to be the main communication with my children. Like they go to
Yeah.
school all day and then all night is just spent do this, do like nagging and so I think that's one reason that's where the zone thing came from because the house can do whatever all day and then right before bed we kind of restore it to order. And that helps me let them live in it the rest of the time because I know that at the end of the day we're going to just work together. I also don't have a huge home and so one time I timed myself my whole main area of kitchen and living room even at its worst state, I can pick up in 20 minutes. And so now if I walk home from work and it's just a disaster, I get people to help me, but even if I were to do it by myself, I know it's 20 minutes. That's 4 of my
Mhm.
favorite songs. That's headphones on, 20 minutes back to order. And so when my blood pressure and the overstimulation like threatens to make me turn into a monster, I kind of can calm myself down by just being like, this is a 20-minute problem, and that's not a big deal. And that kind of
Yeah.
helps me because I can't let it go. I've tried really hard.
I know I've tried to as well, and I feel calmer and I feel more at peace when my home is in order. And also I want my kids to be able to find their stuff. And I was getting really frustrated when the kids were younger, where there was like, like there's socks and wet towels and backpacks and things everywhere and they can't find anything. I'm like, okay, we just need to have less stuff, put it in its place so that everybody can find everything. That became more of the focus than, oh, it looks like it, belongs in a magazine or something like that. So I think over time, my definition of what a clean house looked like or an orderly space, I had to change what that looked like. And also, I also got to the point where, one time I had this discussion like with my husband where he was like, no, nobody cares. Like if it's like you're like, oh my gosh, this house is a mess. And it's like, well, kind of, but not really. And why do you care? And I had to really like take ownership of that too, of just deciding, do I care or not? And it's I don't think that there's like it's not like a moral failing I think it's just like your personal preference, right? Like some people are like, they don't see it, they don't care. And I realized that I was one of those people that saw it and I cared. And I thought, okay, so I have to make a decision between how much I care of like, I don't want it to be like nagging on the kids, or does this mean that like for 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes at night that I'm going to like reset the house, reset the stage as I like, back to one to borrow, like a theater thing or of just setting everything back in its place. And if it didn't take too long, I thought, okay, that's for me. It's not for how I appear to other people or anything. It's just like soothing. I know where everything is. The kitchen is clean. Things are wiped down. That's good. And kind of like the good enough of setting up the house and at the end of the night. So for me, like the zoning thing that you said, Julie, like I really respond to something like that of like, in the morning, like 15 minutes just to kind of make sure everything is ready for the day and then 15 minutes at night. That seemed to help a lot.
Well, and
because
like
that was for me.
Yeah, let's normalize too, like company ready being a lived-in house. Like
Right.
Yeah.
I
For each other.
apologizing when people drop in and it looks like there's instruments that like 6 people live here and we actually live here. And so that's what this looks like. And
isn't it true when you go to somebody's house, you're not like, oh my gosh, you don't know. It's your own house that you're like, oh, sorry, there's stuff out.
Now that I'm like an older mom and I had a baby in my old age, I've realized too that one of my main motivations for giving my kids chores isn't necessarily to like pick up the house and make it clean. It's because I know that they have to learn how to work and how to do chores. And I'm sure you guys have all seen, like there's science behind that kids who have regular chores do better in school. They go on to do better in college and in life, et cetera. And that's really important to me. Like that my kids are like, okay, I'm in charge of especially my own space, but I also need to contribute. I also need to learn how to work and to learn how to clean. I mean, there are definitely adults on this planet who don't know how to clean.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
So even though I give them like very, very short and very small jobs to do, it's really like, it's kind of like the principle of the thing rather than the end result. And
for sure.
I mean, I'm especially doing that with my 9-year-old right now, where there's stuff I could easily do in 5 seconds, but I'm like, no,
you could do it
your
faster
job.
and you could do it better, but you're like,
100%.
oh, you need to learn how to do this.
They have to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that a fun moment when you realize like, oh, it's a skill like anything else, right? Like there is a difference between having a clean house and teaching your kids chores. Like those are two
separate things.
Two totally different things. And when I started parenting, I thought that they were the same thing.
No.
Lucky me to discover all those things. How do you make sure then when you're talking about the systems that you use to keep your house clean to ensure that shift, though, that they know how to do it. For example, especially when my kids were little, in fact, they still make jokes about this. Like on Saturday morning, I would just write things out. I would write like a little card for each of them or a piece of paper saying, hey, with each kid, here's your jobs. And I would try to rotate them so that they each got a chance to know how to do it, to like clean a bathroom or mow the lawn or do the dishes or Windex the windows, dust. I'd list out all the things that needed to do, and I would try to like sort of rotate it so each kid could learn a different thing. When they got older, they were like, I hate this one. Well, I hate this one. And they would trade. And I just think, I don't care if this is great. Trade with each other, whatever, as long as it gets done. And that there's like a follow-up and an accountability. So that's on Saturday, that was my focus of that. Cause I'm the same way with you, like Sunny, like there's so much going on, you just don't always want to add something else to it. But on the weekend, I just thought, hey, before you get going, before you go outside to play with friends or, you got to do your choice. This is just a non-negotiable. And then I knew at least once a week that we would be practicing one of these things.
Yeah, I also think that it's different stages. You can have
Yeah.
different standards for different stages because I feel like once my kids started getting into high school sports and and it's not that we're overscheduling them, it's maybe just that we have so many kids. Everybody in one activity, that's a lot of
Yeah.
activities. And so we're not all home at the same time and we're not all eating at the same time. And so it just creates it just becomes a little less practical for us to have those kind of rigid systems in place. Whereas, when they were younger, I do remember having little
Yeah.
systems, whether or not they worked. I don't know. You'll have to ask the older kids that think the younger ones are spoiled, but they got the
Yeah.
they got the high energy mom and the younger ones get the patient mom because that's kind of just the way that nature has progressed. So
I love that.
I like what you said about seasons too, because I feel like seasons for myself. Like I work a lot of hours right now, and I just don't want to spend the one day a week I have with my kids doing chores. I don't want to. And so we don't do Saturday chores right now. We get up and we do something fun, and they're probably not learning any work ethic. But I am tired and I want to be with them in a fun way. And I don't get when I stayed home with my kids, Saturdays felt different. And now they just feel like this precious time that is our only
Oh.
time to have fun together. And so I'm not prioritizing chores right now. We hire some stuff out. I probably do more of it than I do put on them, just because I want my time with them to be different and to look different. And that's the season that we're in. So I think I loved what you said, Sunny, of like different standards for different seasons for moms and kids.
I think that's amazing and smart to have your Saturdays be reserved for something else. Like our middle son that's disabled, like we couldn't do regular Saturday activities ever. He's not at home right now, and so now we can do Saturday things that we could never do before. And that's so precious. I mean, like for 15
Yeah.
years, we never once woke up and went like to a soccer game for our daughter or went and did any kind of fun Saturday thing. We didn't do that literally for 15 years. And now I'm like, this is
Yeah.
amazing. I can't believe this is what normal people do. So if that means you don't wake up and do chores on a Saturday morning, that's amazing. That's fantastic.
I love that.
Smart.
And you allow people to set, like when you own that for yourself or your own family, whether it is in the stage of life that you're in or the kind of family that you have, and you make those changes, like the more that you are confident about that, it's almost like it gives permission for other people to do their own thing too. And I love that because like each of us are in different stages of parenting, totally different. And we all care, but don't care in our own ways, but they're different. Like, and I think there's something really great about that. As I've had time to sort of reflect about like all those systems, because I love a good system. I love like a color coordinated chart detailing like kids' activities and their chores to sort of track the progress and an excuse for me to buy like office supplies and to draw up a chart. Like I love that. None of my kids like that. None of them. And they were raised that way. And it's just my own personal preference. So I think that's funny. So, but having like looked back on all of that, being able to change and adapt those systems just to make it fit right are I think that pivoting is so much more important than the specific chore or this specific system. On the Lisa show, we did this podcast about ADHD. And I really learned that about like you use all these systems, and even if it works for 5 minutes, great, it worked. And now try something else, and now try something else. And after that interview, I was thinking, oh, this applies to so many other things. Why do we think that one system is like the holy grail? That if we just figure it out, then we'll never have to like rediscover this. Like, where did we get that idea? It really is the ability to be flexible and to be like, oh, we used to do Saturday chores or jobs. That doesn't really fit for us. So now we do this thing. Or now that my kids are in sports, the timing is going to be totally off. So it's got to be a more individualist thing. So now we do it like this. Like that's, I think, the secret of being flexible and sort of changing ideas. So I would love for us just like in the next little while, just to share some just like different ways of thinking about it or specific systems that may work for just a little bit. Depending, because I think that gives you more confidence to have more tools in your toolbox kind of thing. I don't know why I'm pointing to my back.
Who said we had to do chores on Saturdays?
Yeah.
Like why
because
was
that's
that
how I was raised, right? Yeah. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, I have this in my head. So yeah,
Why is
what about a
Saturday
Wednesday? Yeah.
Saturday is the day we all wake up and like clean the whole house. I don't want to do that. I want to
I
sleep a
know.
little
That's
later.
how I grew up, and I don't want to do it,
Yeah.
and so I don't want to make my kids do it either. I don't want to do that on Saturday.
Exactly.
Well, and I don't have all these kids at home anymore either. And so I'm like, well, I don't want to do all the jobs by myself on one day. This is
Right.
awful. Yeah. Because then I'm like, that's a long day.
Don't you think that so I have a big age gap in my kids, and now that I have a toddler again after not having one for a while, it's so much easier to handle everything toddler, like her tantrums, they're
Oh,
just
yeah.
cute, everything, because we just know it's a phase, and you just know, like, okay. But when you only have toddlers, you don't know it will ever end.
Yes.
Like, you don't know
Yes.
that. And I feel the same.
You're
with
like, this is how we live now.
Yes,
This is
Yeah.
it.
It's
who we are
forever.
now. This
It
is motherhood. This
feels
is-
like that.
it feels terrifying. And so now I think I have a little bit more context for like things actually are phases and they actually do end and you actually move on to the next one. And so with the messiness of my house too, as cheesy as it sounds, and it doesn't always work when I'm angry, but there are going to be a lot of years when my house will be effortlessly clean because it will not be full of my kids. Like, and that's not the season that I'm in right now. And I'm in peak. All of my kids are at home, mess, chaos, and there's a beauty in that. And that's what all of these piles everywhere kind of indicate. And when I can zoom out and remind myself, like, this is going to end and my house will be clean, and I'll wish that 12 instruments were stacked up in my front room again. Like, not to go to an emo place, but that does kind of help me give my like self perspective of this ends.
Yeah.
So this is where we're at. right now.
I'm that phase. I'm that phase where I have one 17-year-old at home, and if I clean the kitchen and it's clean, when I come home from work, it's clean. And I'm like, and that's so much easier than any other phase. Like, there's other harder things. That's for another Council of Moms and a Lisa Show confessional. But it does stay. Yeah, and so the things that I worry about, the systems that work for me, are going to be totally different. Yeah, and it's sad, but I don't miss the mess. I miss the kids. But
It's okay to not miss it. With my special guy not being at home, that means I don't vacuum every day like I used to. I mean, you can't even imagine the mess that this kid can produce.
Yeah.
And you'd think I was lying if I told you, but I don't miss that at all. And I don't feel bad about that. I'm like, oh, I can live in a little bit more relaxed state of like not crisis mode every minute of the day. And that's okay. You don't have to miss the mess. Like, it's great.
I really love going to bed at night and sleeping all night.
Oh, I really like that. I like that a lot.
There's lots of things I don't miss.
Amen.
I know.
Emily, when you brought up crisis mode, I do feel like when you have like a lot of kids at home, a lot of the time, like I think lots of moms feel that way, especially the ones that have them like back to back to back, where it's like it really is crisis mode. And so you're just trying to survive. So maybe give yourself a little grace. Like you're drowning. Like you can't be drowning and saving everyone else and keep all the laundry clean all the time.
No.
Like just you can't do everything all at the same time.
We only have like a few minutes left. And in that time, I'd love for everybody to go around and just address the idea of how you talk to your kids about that. Like, instead of just reminding them, like, hey, clean your room, or pick up your towels, or, clean your bathroom, whatever it is, whatever system you've chosen, what is just like a parting, like, piece of advice or something that has helped you with how you talk to your kids about it, without this nagging, but how you set it up?
I'll go first. I have noticed that, especially with my teenagers, the state of their room kind of reflects how they're doing mentally. And so
Ooh,
when I start seeing that their rooms are becoming a little bit overwhelming, like piles of laundry that I could create like little stuffed people armies out of, that's what I call them. Um, I start asking them the questions about, how are you doing? Like, how's things going at school? How are things with friends? And usually from there, I can kind of get them to open up a little bit about other things. And once you start kind of cleaning some of that up, they just naturally start
yeah,
wanting their space to be a little bit more tidy, also.
That's literally what I was going to say. Like,
really?
yeah, with my adult daughter and my husband, like with just almost unmanageable ADHD, their spaces are a total reflection of what's going on in their mind. And so with my 9-year-old, I'm trying to help him realize, like, hey, your room is so cleaned up and all your clothes are put away. How does it feel? And he's like, I love it. I love being in my room because everything's orderly and, he can find everything. And I'm like, that's exactly why we keep our spaces clean. It's not so that it's company ready or that it's a reflection on how awesome we are. It's because it feels great. And and like we all said earlier, sometimes people don't really, that doesn't really bother them, but for some of us, like, your space around you is so important to your well-being. And so that's how I've been talking about it with my littlest. Because I'm getting like a whole new chance to raise another human, and I'm like, this is why we do it. So
Oh, yeah, I love that.
I just try to think about how it feels myself. Like, if you came to my house and it was a mess and you started telling me how gross it was or how terrible it was, that would feel terrible. And so if I walk into their room and I'm like, you can't keep this clean, like, it just feels like being kicked when you're down. And I often will text a friend and say, will you come sit on my bed while I clean my room?
yeah.
That body doubling for ADHD.
Yep.
And I try to offer that same service to my children. And so we clean together, we turn music on, we go into their
Yeah.
rooms. Instead of, if you just put my 9-year-old in her room and said, come out when it's done, she would just cry on the floor and feel terrible about herself. And I would do the same. So just trying to not have unfair expectations of them that I can't even meet myself. I can't put my laundry away the first day. I can't match my socks. My stuff isn't always clean. I don't come right home and put everything exactly where it's supposed to go. I don't wash a dish after I eat everything. And so it's not fair. Sometimes I'll catch myself having those expectations for them that I don't even uphold myself. So just trying to really make sure, how do I want it handled? That's probably the kindest way to offer it to them.
Oh, I love that.
Smart.
I agree with what has been said. I really do. I think you guys are dead on. And I'll just add one other thing that I did, or that I keep doing as the kids get older, is I try to explain to them what I'm trying to do. I explain it like I'm just showing my cards. So instead of just do it, because I say, here's the thing. And I realize this is my personal preference. I like living at this level of clean. And I feel like it's that this level of clean, what I'm asking you, isn't too much. And here's why. And also, here's what I'm trying to do on a larger sense is I'm trying to help you know how to take care of your stuff and to go out into the world and be able to do this on your own. So I just think every adult, no matter who you are and what you do for a living, should know how to clean a toilet. I do. I think it's I think everybody should know how to do that. And I
It's a
think
life
everybody
skill.
should know. Yeah, it's a life skill. You should all know how to just maintain, a clean house. And so not always just scrubbing and cleaning, but also if you do that and you just kind of pick up, it maintains, which is easier than starting over. I'm actually trying to teach you life skills that will save you time and save you heartache. Because when everything's in its place and you always know where it is, you're going to save time finding it and looking for your stuff and, things like that. If you have less stuff, It's going to take you less time to clean it. Like I'm trying to like give them the best hacks that I can for a good life too. Like it's not just about because I said so and we all just do this because this is how it's always been done. Kind of trying to explain the why behind of it, but I don't know if it's worked yet. We'll have to wait and see.
Jury's still out.
Jury's still out. But I know I appreciate that. Where I think, do I have to clean or is this can I put on my music and sort of dance around and pick up some stuff and have it not be that big of a deal?
Well,
Or am I making it a big deal?
It's fun to show up here and say what I mean, in theory, that's what I do. I do it a lot. There's also the times when the narrative goes more like, am I the only person who does anything around here? That's also how it goes.
Right.
So
it can be both. Or then
both where I
sometimes like,
live.
oh yeah, this is not big a deal. This is like 5 minutes, instead of thinking about this kitchen is horrible. Like right now, I have a kitchen sink full of dishes right now and it is bugging me. And no, it is. It's noise in my brain. And if I had just done it really quick, it would have taken me literally like 5 to 7 minutes. And I didn't do it, and that's it. And maybe next time I will, but it's not the end of the world.
Sometimes we have more important things to do.
Yeah, sometimes we do.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. You guys, this has been so great. I really appreciate you talking so vulnerably about like systems and chores. I think there was a time where I would have been like, oh, I better come up with the top 3 systems that are going to like most help. But I really appreciate the way that it's morphed into what do you really want? How can you pivot during like different seasons of life and really accept what is happening now? And then what is it that we're trying to do like overall? And I think we communicate that to our kids and it's a work in progress. And if that's not the Council of Moms, I don't know what is.
There you go.
Well, thank you so much, Sunny, Julie, and Emily for being here. And thank you for listening to the Council of Moms. If you are listening to us wherever you get your podcasts, thank you for being part of the Council of Moms. We love to hear from you. I read every single comment across the board, wherever you're going. Leave your questions for the council. We take our questions from the audience. So we would love to hear from you. And if you're just curious as to what we look like, or how we're rolling our eyes and pointing to each other, you can see us over on YouTube. We're over on YouTube, which is kind of fun. So leave a comment there. And we'll see you next time on the Council of Moms on BYU Radio.